Come on, refresh. Nice. Rumble's kicked in now too. And Sensor Tube is kicked in. Hi everyone, this is chycho. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the live stream. Today is February 23rd, 2025. And we're doing open discussion live stream. There's some people already in the chat waiting it up. Usually I'm here pretty like a few minutes early. I want to just press go live, but I gotta do it with the time, right? Panic on Sensor Tube. Frankly, ridiculous stuff going on. Havoc on Sensor Tube. How are we doing? Peter on Sensor Tube. Salute Baby Nights on Twitch. Right on time as always. I try to be. I like being punctual. Senora Chain, good afternoon to you as well. Sleepy Waves, how are you doing? What's good, chycho? Looking forward to the stream. Me too. And we got Ken's Corner was been on Rumble for a while. He was the first one that was sort of hanging around. Moving over. Rumble stream's going crazy. Oh, is it going crazy? Oh man, already? That was too early. Too early for it to go crazy. We'll see. We'll hold on Rumble for about 5 minutes and give people time. That makes me. I think we must switch up Rumble with no stir. We'll see where it goes. Lark Bark, hello everyone, and chycho, good afternoon to you as well. What are we doing with Rumble? If it goes down, I'm keeping an eye on it. While we'll wait for notifications to go out, why don't we do our little intro and see if Rumble stabilizes or not? Lark Bark, I am also looking forward to the stream. Yeah, me too. Panic. Since your recommendation, I've been diving into Israel and Palestine for the past 2 days, further than I ever have before. I have to say I feel exhausted. Panic, welcome to the club. It's exhausting looking at that thing. It's exhausting staying on top of it. It's so exhausting that even Norman Finkelstein a few years ago said, I can't do it anymore. And then the poop started hitting the fan again more and more. So he I mean he's the person to go to regarding that, right? So he started getting a lot of requests and he dived into it again. It's exhausting watching genocide unfold over the last few decades in slow-mo and then finally going into hyperdrive mode. It's crazy. And you have people defending it. That's even crazier, right? And a lot of people are jumping on. A lot of people hopefully are doing what you've been doing, Panic, and looking into the history of it. And I mean, once you look into it, there's only one conclusion you can come up with, right? There isn't, oh, it's complicated. Oh, there's two sides to the story. Oh, there's this. Oh, there's this. Israel has a right to exist. And what about, you say, what about Palestine? No, Israel has a right to defend. What about Palestine? No, there is no, there isn't a two-side story to this when it comes to morality, justice, and all that jazz. Once you dive into it, you can only side with the brutalized, not those that are doing the brutalizing, right? Panic. It's crazy how many people are defending it, and it's even more insane that all Israeli leaders for a century now are genuinely psychopathic. Yeah, and what they have bred, what they have indoctrinated coming out of Israel are psychopaths. They're genocidal, supremacist, racist society, and that's what they have been for a number of decades. And we're seeing the end result of that, where there is no shame in what they do, there is no pretense in what they do. They have been bred, indoctrinated to believe that they can do anything they want to humanity, and humanity does not have a right to defend itself. I think they're in for a rude awakening. Pity them. Lunatic state, as Frankenstein called it. Well, Finkelstein called it. Yeah, lunatic state, right? Lark Bark, these kinds of streams and conversations are beneficial, you know. Yeah, 100%. Elder God, how are you doing? Salute, salute, baby nights. Guys, let's give Chycho a minute to do his intro first. Yeah, let's do an intro. I'll do it. It's okay. I can do an intro midstream, I guess. But it's good to do in the beginning. Sleep with Chycho. You always preach about peaceful protesting, but how can one protest peacefully when the government is violent to its citizens? Look, for me, I choose the peaceful path. Okay, and I could just say for now, right? I have no right to tell anyone how they choose to protest their brutality, their enslavement, their genocide. I don't pretend to talk to everyone and say, be a Martin Luther King and say peaceful protest is the only way. I choose the peaceful path for me. You do you, I do me. Just like I cannot recommend people drinking water. I like water. I drink a lot of water. But if you don't want to drink water, I have no right to tell you to drink water, right? So everything that I share is my perspective. But people can choose their own path. Some places, you know, if I was born in a region of the world in a concentration camp, if we're taking Gaza and Israel for example, if I was born in a concentration camp and the only feature I had is unemployment, enslavement, allowing those who call themselves your masters to brutalize you, to raise a family and sacrifice my children, to have my children if I was a Gazan, right, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't choose this peaceful form of resistance. Just saying, right? Trump was licking BB's face and wiping his behind, Lark Park says, right? Ken Carter, you're on. Oh yeah, how's the Rumble? Okay, you know what, I'm gonna do my intro and then we're gonna kill Rumble again, gang. If you want to know what this work is about, we're on Patreon, Substack, subscribe, so you can follow the work there. We do have a matrix space. You're definitely welcome to join our little community and chit chat, share information and whatnot. It is definitely not a safe space, so you're welcome to trash talk anyone you want, including me, right? We are live streaming on Twitch, on SensorTube, on BitChute, and for this little intro, we're gonna do it on Rumble, but then we're gonna nuke the Rumble stream. We are recording this on a lapel mic, and I'll be uploading the audio of this live stream to SoundCloud.com, Patreon, and Substack. We're on Twitter, we're on Minds, we're on VK, we're on True Social, we're on Substack Notes, we're on Gab, and we're on Getter and Blue Sky. Right? You're definitely welcome to follow us on all those platforms and more, gang. Thank you very much for the support. Thank you for being here. I enjoy these live streams tremendously. For those of you supporting us for on Patreon, Substack, everywhere on Twitch, on SensorTube, wherever you might be, gang, thank you very much for the support, and salute to the mods, gang. Salute to the mods. I'm enjoying water this morning. Let me take these down. Okay, let me get caught up with the chat. Ever since you this is Bryn. I hate water unless it's carbonated or flavored. Really? I know people like you. I think you people are crazy. I love water. I love water. Sup, Chycho and gang. Q, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Lark Bark, trust me, I don't have TDS, but Trump being in cahoots with the Israeli lobbyists is questionable. Yeah, but we knew this from the get-go, right? We called it, like, when the Biden admin, the Democrats took control of the United States of America and the Western world, in the 2020 elections, we knew, we came out and said it. We said, okay, in the next elections, it's going to be Trump running, and he's going to win, and he's going to do a clean sweep, right? As you recall, it was buying Trump rookie cards. I made a bet. That was my bet that Trump was going to win, right? And going to be a landslide. And we kept on saying that the pendulum is going to swing so far in the other direction that it's going to make people's heads spin, and that is exactly what has happened, right? So we knew that that was happening. We knew that Trump was going to try to do rapprochement, or whatever you call it, with Russia, that they were going to try to end their Ukraine involvement in Europe, and they're going to throw Europe under the bus. We knew all that, right? We also knew, we also said that Trump was all in for World War III for his Zionist masters, right? So this is, everything that's happening is not a surprise. The only surprise that we can say that's happening with the Trump administration's elections is how fast things are shifting, how rapidly they're shifting. Some of the revelations coming out, with USAID being a big one. Trump administration going hard on traders to the United States of America, right? Oh, I gotta kill Rumble. Okay, I'm ending Rumble, gang. Apologies. Bye, guys. Boop. The Trump administration going hardcore on traders to the United States of America, all those people that promoted Russiagate and the Ukraine war and the Gaza genocide, which Trump is all in, but is actually not all in but not all in. He's all in if they go after Iran. He doesn't want to go to war with Iran. He just has no choice. He does, but as of right now, he will do what his Zionist masters tell him to do, unless there's some kind of game in play that is going to turn on his Zionist masters and do what that should have been done decades ago in the United States of America. But I don't think it's going to happen. So we've already sort of prepared ourselves with what's happening. I was listening to something earlier where we've also mentioned for a while now that the United States is bankrupt, Western world is bankrupt, and stuff like this. But one of the things that I came across recently is puts it in a pretty interesting light, where the USAID revelations is really the restructuring of the corporation that is called the United States of America, right? So the people that have come into power in the United States of America with the Trump administration, those that are being appointed, know that the United States of America is bankrupt, can't meet all its obligations, especially if it continues down this path. So what they're doing a bankruptcy restructuring. So some of its creditors will be paid, some of its obligations will be made, but some people will be left holding a bag, right? That is what the Trump administration is doing. The Biden administration was going to drive the United States off the cliff, all of it. No restructuring. It's done. It was going to be a write-off, right? So better for the United States if it's actually a restructuring, which is what the USAID revelations are, right? And they're going to be cutting. And what happens in the stock market with companies, public companies anyway, right? When they go under bankruptcy restructuring, right? When it's a build up where everyone knows the company's bankrupt and the stock is going down, when they come out and start doing major cuts and they start restructuring, the stock of the company usually goes up, right? Because people are more optimistic that new management has come in, and usually new management comes in during this process, right? New management comes in, they restructure it, try to restructure it and save the corporation, right? And what happens is, with the United States, such a large corporation, usually they do get saved and their stock starts recouping again. However, the bump is there, right? What happens after this is anybody's guess to a certain degree. My guess is they're all in for World War III, so the stock is going to continue to plummet after this bump, right? If they don't go all in with the with Israel, or for the Zionist masters, then the United States will be one of the top 3 powerhouses in the world: China, Russia, and the United States of America, right? We'll see where all this stuff goes. It's extremely fluid. It's extremely interesting. It is very exhausting keeping on top of it all. But this is our lot. We were born in this period. We do live in this period, and we have to, you know, accept that we are here and inform ourselves and deal with it accordingly, right? Panic on sensitive. It bothers me that people are debating factual historical evidence, saying that Palestine hijacked the peace deals when the only UN countries that voted against it were Israel, US, and Australia. Yeah, it's stupid, really. Aragon sensitive. Great to see you, Chycho. What's the rhetoric you're seeing around you these days with Canadians towards America? Oh, it's vomit inducing. Gang, let me address this, because I'm in Canada, right? And I'm assuming Greg is in Canada on CensorTube, and he's asking the question. Great to see you, Chycho. What's the rhetoric you're seeing around you these days with Canadians towards Americans? Now, being in Canada, I don't listen to Canadian corporate news, right? We don't have cable. We don't listen to news, and when I'm online, I don't listen to CBC. I don't read the Globe and Mail or National. I don't do any of that. The only place I get exposed to Canadian government propaganda, corporate news, fascistic news, is when I'm in the car. I listen to CBC News, right? And it comes on. They do a talk for about, well, they do talk shows, so it's around. If I'm driving short distance, I get a little snippet. That's good enough. Snippet is good enough. If I'm on a long distance drive, I listen to it for as long as I can tolerate it, and at some point I'm just pretend projectile vomiting, going, oh my god, I'm swearing in the car. I can't believe it's so low IQ, right? So I turn it off, go to something else, right? Just want to give you that understanding of my exposure to what's Canadian population, the programming is all about, because it's that snippet that I get is everywhere. People have Trump derangement syndrome. Canadians are some of the lowest of the low IQ rats in regards to politics, economics, and especially geopolitics. They are literally the capital R and the word we can't say onto it, and all the other letters in capitals with 3 exclamation marks. They are the biggest red rats on the planet, right? Because you're hearing, and they have talk shows on CBC where people call in, and obviously there's a filter factor in there, right? So CBC, the corporate media, government propaganda, doesn't allow anyone that opposes the corporate propaganda to have a say on the radio, right? And I'm pretty sure that's also the case on their TV stations and newspapers and stuff. So this is the filter that they're using. People come on, and all of a sudden Canadians are now patriotic, right? Now keep in mind, these are the same low IQ red rats that called the trucker movement actual Canadians, the largest mass grassroots demonstration in Canadian history. Canadians rising up, lots of Canadian flags everywhere, grassroots. There was no top-down management. It was bottom up, right? A handful of truckers and people that were like, no, the government doesn't have the right to take away our bodily autonomy, doesn't have the right to deny us informed consent and cannot make a mockery of the Nuremberg Code. Not only that, they have no right to prevent people from traveling in Canada or to freeze people's bank accounts, and freezing people's bank accounts came at the end of this whole thing, right? This grassroots organizations with millions of Canadians rising up and going on a peaceful march across Canada, the second largest country in the world with landmass, from my part, West Coast, driving all the way to Ottawa, thousands of kilometers, thousands of miles, to where the federal government is, to peacefully protest, dance, sing, children, families, saying that you can't fire us for refusing to get an experimental injection. You have no right. And even people who got the injection, Canadians rose up saying you have no right to abuse other Canadians, right? True patriots defending Canada and human integrity, right? And low IQ red rats that lined up to get their boosters and were okay with taking away people's bodily autonomy, informed consent, making a mockery of the Nuremberg Code, asking for people's fucking medical records before they entered restaurants, right? Those people that brutalized their fellow Canadians now are being pushed through corporate centralized Canadian propaganda, saying that they are patriotic and they're going to stand up against the orange man and another country putting tariffs on goods coming from Canada to the other country. So leaders of another nation that are not interfering with Canadian politics, Canadian lives, they're not dictating anything to Canadians. They're just saying that for our own country, because we see an economic hurricane coming and this globalization thing is not working for whatever reason it might be, we want, Americans saying this, Trump administration saying this, we want to make our country anti-fragile, more resilient. So we want to bring back manufacturing into our country, make sure we have the ability to produce all the essentials that we need to function as an independent country, just in case the poop hits the fan. So we want to make sure we have our steel mills, we want to make sure we can produce our nuts and bolts that we need for our factories, we want to make sure that we have the agriculture system set up to feed our population. So the way they're seeing how to do this is to put tariffs across the board. They're not singling any individual country. They're saying 25% tariffs across the board, everywhere, on every country, enemies, allies, all of them combined, because we want to be resilient, because we're seeing economic hiccup coming to the world, and we want to make sure if there's disruptions in the supply chain, we can take care of our own citizens. We have enough jobs, infrastructure to do that, right? Then Canadians say, oh, America is waging a war on us, we are patriotic, we're going to fly our Canadian flags, and orange man bad, right? Meanwhile, at the same time, during these interviews that I'm hearing, they're saying they were embarrassed to fly the Canadian flag 3-4 years ago because these, according to Trudeau's wording, fringe racist, misogynist people, supremacist, white not all these, that's what they were calling us, me and a whole millions of Canadians. They're saying they're becoming patriotic, flying the Canadian flag because another country is doing what's good for them, while they were brutalizing us, right? And this is the propaganda that is being pushed in Canada hardcore. It's so vomit inducing. It's so vomit inducing. I can't explain to you. Like, I knew Canadians in general were illiterate when it came to they were red rats when it came to economics, politics and especially geopolitics. I've been dealing with them for 45 years, since I had my awakening in my early teens of how low IQ the news system was here, right? When I talked to them about the first Gulf War, Iran-Iraq War, IRA, the Yugoslavia, just all of it, build. But this is such a new low. This is such a new low that I don't even know what to say anymore, right? The only thing I've done is I have totally distanced myself from anyone that is on that level. You can't even talk to them anymore. For me anyway, I can't, because if I do talk to them, I'm gonna rip them a new asshole within 30 seconds. And that's what I've done. So in the last few months I just stopped, right? Because I can't be ripping new assholes for everyone I meet in Canada, right? It becomes dirty, messy, right? That's where we are. To give a long reply to Greg, where he's saying, what's the rhetoric you're seeing around you these days with Canadians towards Americans? That's what it is. They're idiots. Canadians are idiots, and they have no idea of the economic hardship that we're about to go through. It's going to get a lot worse, right? And what the agenda is geopolitically, and they have their hopes tied into the political system. They're idiots, right, Greg? So is the fake outrage and sudden pretending to be patriotic indirectly making Canada great again? it's shitting on Canada. Like, it's garbage. They are so low IQ, these people. It's getting hard to go anywhere and party. Like, I'm coming across they're fascists, communal fascist pieces of shit, and they're coming up to me and saying, I'm an anarchist. You're an anarchist, you motherfucker. You were okay with the government force injecting people, locking society down. You have the balls to call yourself an anarchist? Man, damn. Jonah, you does your question come up? Chycho. Chabad of Lubavitch is one of the largest Hasidic movements in the world. Donald Trump serves this. Oh, is that what they're called? Serves the sect, and this is the whole secret. Your thought? He's in for Zionist masters, and the Zionists are smart enough to create multiple sects, and born again Christian is one of the main ones, and born again Christian movement has multiple factions, right? So I can't keep track of all the different factions they've spread out. All you got to do is call them Zionist, and Cliff High takes it one level behind that. Calls them the Elohim worship called the name stealers, the Khazarian mafia, all the same shit. I just refer to them as Zionists right now, because that's the prevalent faction that's waging war on humanity. This is Prince. Can you bring me a new asshole, please? The one I have has been destroyed. My last night's curry. No, I ain't getting near that asshole. Rick Grimes, hey Chycho, so good to see you, brother. I just want to say I love you that you suggest the show and Utopia. Nice. I actually highly recommend you watch Alice in Borderland. Why does that ring a bell? It's an amazing show. Okay, I gotta write this down. Alice in Borderland. Hold on, let me write this down. Alice in Borderland. What is it about? Alice in Borderland. Just to let you know, I'm not into watching anything that's sort of mimicking our political system, because it's just, I can't do it. The reality is too real. I want sci-fi or monsters. Someone said snacks, but barista, snacks. I got good snacks. I had my mom visit me. She brought me Armenian pastries, pirog, and this is the jam that I made, the plum jam that I made. This stuff right here, right? Yum. This is super good. This is like one of the best best cakes, pastries in the world. Like so good, so good, flaky, and it's like totally flaky, right? But it's got the jam gooiness. So good. And the jam is tart and sweet, right? Because it's plum. So nice and gooey. And then this other one, these two guys, is from a local pastry. Is chocolate covered macaroons, coconut, I don't know what else, and butter goes in there. So it's chocolate covered macaroons, and they're really good. They're some of the best macaroons I've ever had, right? Like so good, so good. I'm gonna take a bite and show you the inside of it. Very gooey, very gooey. Really nice. I called it the morning. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Doesn't want to focus. There you go. Right. It's really nice. Check this out. Here's Elder Goss saying what the show is about. Alice in Borderland. An aimless gamer and his two friends find themselves in a parallel Tokyo where they're forced to compete in a series of sadistic games to survive. Very cool, very cool. And then Brad mentioned this. I read that. It was like right on. He went to a comic book show yesterday, I guess, or day before. The comic show was great yesterday. Picked up Adventure into Fear number 14 and Iron Man 150, both high grade, $40 each. Nice, sweet. Rick Grimes is a show about people who have entered a strange world where they compete in challenging games with their lives on the line. It has zero political messaging in it. It's just simply awesome. Okay, nice, nice, nice. We'll look into it. I've been watching lots of anime lately. Animation and anime. Loving it. I'm going to Twitch to read some of the chat. Larkbar Trump was looking first time chat. Ken's, you went on Twitch as well. Nice. Made an account just for you, chycho. Awesome. Ken's Corner. Salute on Twitch. Ken started on Rumble, went to CensorTube, now is on Twitch. Multi-platforming, that's the way to go. Q, sup chycho again. Salute, Larkbar. Trust me, I don't have TDS. Trump being, oh okay, we've read that. Sipuwe chycho, if you're a Gazan, ain't no way you can be peaceful. Like you always say about bully, you got to stand and push back hard, otherwise you're dead. Yeah, if I was in Gaza, I don't know. Yeah, what would I do? I'm pretty sure I know what I would do. All right, I probably won't be around right now. Askin lad, good to see you, chycho san. By any chance, do you have snacks today? Ken's, how does the situation ever come to an end? I don't see how Israel goes down, considering they're a nuclear power. Economically, it's just going to get gutted. It's going to get gutted. Why? Because Western world is getting gutted. right? They blew their load on Ukraine and on Israel in the last year and a half, 2 years, and they've been blowing their load on Israel for the last few decades, right? And people in the Western world are now realizing how much money we have given Israel, and that Israel is just a colony of the Western world put there so they could have an unsinkable battleship or aircraft carrier in the Middle East, so they could have access to cheap energy or use them as cannon fodder. So Jews have been used and abused by the world 100%, but they didn't stand up to themselves. They were foolish enough to think that this was to for their best interest, the Israelis anyway, right? It's like Ukrainians 2 years ago, 3 years ago, for the last 10 years, yes, we will beat Russia, we will fight Russia, arm us to the teeth, arm us to the teeth, we will be NATO's hammer on Russia, we will take down Russia, we will gain everything. Now that it's coming to it, right, what's going to happen? Really, I'm very curious about this. What's going to happen as more and more Ukrainians begin to understand that their country, their family, their friends, their people were used by Europeans, EU nations, by the United States, by the Western world as a proxy to try to destabilize Russia, collapse Russia, and they had no guarantee that they would win, that these Western powers that abused them, used them, destroyed their nation are going to come at the end and say, hey, now that you didn't win the war, now that we gave you billions of dollars, it wasn't a donation, these billions of dollars, it was a loan, and your leadership guaranteed those loans with your resources, your land, your country. So if this was some kind of twisted novel, you would think that the United States and Russia, and the United States with the EU leadership, had actually cut a deal with Russia saying, hey, listen, we'll use Ukraine to start a war against you, okay? You lose 100,000 people, 100,000 Russians will die, but 1 million Ukrainians will die, so we'll take a bigger hit than you, right? Why don't you cut a deal with us? And then when it's people understand that Ukraine didn't win the war, i.e. NATO didn't win the war, because I can guarantee you, NATO saying to Russia, we can guarantee you that we're not going to arm them to a level where they can beat you, because first of all, we don't have those arms, right? We're just going to get rid of our inventory, blow it out at exorbitant prices, right? And then when it comes to signing the peace deal, we'll guarantee you that the United States will pull out, which means Europe and Ukraine will have to sign a peace deal with you, whatever peace deal that we agree on. So Russia, you'll get half of Ukraine, a lot of rare earth, and you'll get the Black Sea and all that jazz. And then us being in the United States, we'll get the rights to the rest of Ukraine's resources and the land. And that way, this thorn in your side, which was the Banderites and the Nazi ideology that never went away, right? We'll get rid of that, and you can protect your Russian-speaking Ukrainians, and all said and done, Ukraine dot dot, because that's what's happening, right? But you should keep in mind that Russia never wanted this war. They never did. They were provoked into waging it, with NATO just keep on arming Ukraine. They were about to invade the Donbass region, right, and most likely take over Crimea. So they pushed Russia's hand, right? What's going to happen to Western leadership once Ukrainians find out that they were used and abused and brutalized, not by Russia, but by Western leadership? What's going to happen to all the Western leaders that were instrumental in pushing Ukraine into this war? there's got to be a list there. Who are the top people on that list that pushed Ukraine into this war, annihilated Ukraine as a viable nation, caused 1 million Ukrainians to die? Who's on the top of that list? Boris Johnson? Man, if I was Boris Johnson, I'd be shitting myself. Newland? Biden's Joe, and what's the little Joe's name, right? Obama, yeah, 100%. I'm good scrolling all the way down the chat, gang, on Twitch. Right? Obama, Victoria Nuland, right? What's going to happen? Well, John Bomb Iran McCain is already dead, but he has a daughter that was pushing this shit, right? Cheney devil offspring, right? What's going to happen with all those people that are on that list? The Ukrainians were pretty hardcore going after assassinating people in Russia, right? We will kill anyone that did this to our nation, right? Do you really think that some of those Ukrainians don't consider the Western leadership being a part, having a part to play in destroying their nations? Man, if I was Ukrainian, I can honestly tell you, I'm glad I'm not Ukrainian, and I'm glad I'm not Gazan Palestinian. All right. Elder God Boris will run to Canada. Boris is in deep shit if he runs to Canada, because there's a lot of Ukrainians in Canada and they are fucking pissed. Right? I have no idea what rock Boris Johnson can hide under where he can walk the streets without being in fear of his health, right? I have no idea, right? Panic. Do Ukrainians realize that Zelensky sold their country entirely? They must. Maybe the ones that realize that they're the ones that they sent to the front lines first. Panic. I don't have to imagine they would call for their head real soon. We'll see. Bush and Cheney still at large. Large. Trump. Right? Chameleon Eyes 11 says nothing will happen to them. I don't know. Look, Western leadership is responsible for 1 million Ukrainian deaths. Like, before this, the most brutal, aside from the Israel committing genocide in Gaza, that's fucking brutal, just one of the most brutal genocides in history, right? Because it's not a war, it's a genocide, right? But before the Ukraine war, right, or Russia calls them special military operation, the most brutal war was the Iran-Iraq war in the 1980s. That took 7 years, and 1 million Iranians were killed with chemical weapons and all this jazz, right? So that was very brutal, extremely brutal war, right? Extremely brutal war. But the Ukraine war, I think, just surpassed that, because it's taken 3 years and 1 million Ukrainians are dead, right? I don't know. We'll see. If Boris is taking care of the rest of those people on that list, I'm guessing they're gonna go into hiding. Larkbark Obama is a neoliberal war criminal scumbag. 100%, one of the biggest scumbags on the planet, right? Communion. It'll be 30 years when they realize what happens, and then still too late. Chameleon, I don't think so, because there's a lot of Ukrainians that went to Russia to escape the war. I think Russia took in more Ukrainians than Europe. Don't quote me on this. But Russia took millions of Ukrainians as refugees, right? A lot of those Ukrainians know exactly what this war was about. I met a Ukrainian in Victoria that as soon as the shit started happening, he told his brother and his family, we need to leave. The Ukrainian I met here hates the Ukrainian leadership, and there is a ton of them that know exactly what Zelensky and that leadership is all about, right? They know it. Prowler Ranger, do you think of Trump's posturing towards Zelensky? What do you think of Trump? Doesn't have to posture towards Zelensky. Zelensky's a piece of turd. Trump is the president of the most powerful nation on the planet right now. Why does Trump even have to give a shit about Zelensky or any European country? Look, the way you have to, or the way you can look at Trump's action or the actions of the Trump administration is this. Just imagine a Titanic and imagine all the Western countries on that Titanic, on that ship, right? And the Titanic has hit the iceberg. It's already tilting. It's a few minutes away from cracking in half and going straight down. The Trump administration has woken up to this reality, and they're telling their friends, relatives, the people that are staying on the same floor as them in their country, go to the lifeboats now. Go to the lifeboats now. We're getting off this fucking sinking ship. That's what the Trump administration is doing. That's what they're signaling everyone. We're out, right? Good for them. Smart choice. The rest of the Western leadership, such as Canada, Europe, and all these clowns, right? They're dancing to the music. We are great. We are great. We will win. We can win. Look at those idiots going to the lifeboats. Throw rocks at them. They must be right-wing Nazis. Look at that orange man. Orange man bad. He's a cult member. They're going to the lifeboats. Look at this beautiful big ship that we have. It's just an ice cube in the water. Those cracks you're hearing is because everyone's dancing so hard. The ship is like going up and down. That's how low IQ the rest of the Western world is. The leadership is. Because they have no effing idea of what the hell is going on, right? You don't have to be your country. In Canada, low IQ leadership, most of the people are totally oblivious, clueless. Not all. The smart Canadians are fucking smart, really. I met some of them. They are powerful. They're content creators online, right? I've mentioned some of them. Remark being one, Truth Seeker being one on BitChute. They put out content hardcore and they know exactly what's going on, right? But the majority don't. That's what's going on. So Trump, Zelensky is nothing. Zelensky is just a fucking actor, right? Trump, for 8 years, the establishment, media, academia, politicians, Hollywood, Wall Street, New York, the establishment tried to destroy Donald Trump. 4 years while he was president, impeached twice. 4 years after the Biden administration was appointed to run the United States of America in 2020, they tried to put him in jail, bankrupt him, assassinate him, and this mofo is still kicking it, right? Not only that, he's coming back and saying, I'm done with you, mofo. I'm fucking cleaning house now, right? He's still a puppet to his Zionist masters, and he's going through restructuring because that's what he knows, a businessman. He's doing a restructuring in the United States of America, restructuring of the debt, cutting cord, cutting their losses, right? He's doing all that. We can't compare Trump. Like, Trump doesn't talk to Zelensky. Trump tells things that Zelensky must do. Zelensky's posturing against Trump, right? Oh, I will not sign a deal. No, bitch, you're gonna sign whatever the hell we tell you to sign, right? Zelensky is a nobody, right? Nobody. It's pathetic. Right. Panic on censor tube. Is Ukraine theoretically legally allowed to force the Ukrainians that left to Canada, for example, to come back to fight in the war? They tried. Some European countries said, oh, we're going to do it, and then they said, no, we won't. Right. Crummy VCR chycho, sending regards, my man. Question for you: do you honestly think people can start over past a 40? I think is not really doable, considering over half of one's life has gone by. Curious, oh, for sure you can start over when you're 40, when you're 50, when you're 60. It's never too late to do the right thing, right? That's like a that's what smart gamblers do. Stupid gamblers say it's too late, I'm just going to keep on betting on black. Dude, you're losing all your black. No, if you find out you've been doing it wrong, I don't give a rat's ass if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80. Doesn't matter, man. Might as well live a real life, no matter how long you got left, right? If you've lived in a delusional perspective of the world for 40 years, why not live the remainder of your life understanding what the world is about, reality, right? No, it's never too late to stop living a lie. It's never too late. I don't give a rat's ass if you got 1 day left to live, right? You're 90 years old, you're in the hospital, you fucked up, right? Oh my god, all of a sudden you realize what life is about. That's okay. At least you have 1 day of reality, what life is. Be thankful. There are people that never realize that, right? Larkbar, Zelensky has profited from the conflict and committed war crimes 100%. If I was Ukrainian, Boris Johnson and Zelensky would be on top of my list. Right, sleepaway chycho. Trump admin also is looting the US and giving even more tax breaks to the billionaire class. Why would I want American billionaires even more power? Because that's the same shit that the Biden administration was doing, but they were doing more looting. The looting that occurred under the Biden administration is unprecedented. They printed more money in 1 year than they had, like, what was it? It was 2022 or something like this. 80% or 60% of all the money that was in the United States that had been printed was printed in that 1 year. You can't go beyond that looting, right? You can't go from a Biden administration straight out to an administration that is completely transparent, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Movement in the right direction is the right direction. If they want crumbs thrown at them, let them throw crumbs at each other, right? At least they're not taking everything that you own, right? Look at the looting that they did under the Biden administration. Unfucking heard of. Unheard of. Glass on censor too. How are we doing, Washington State? Salutations, Washington State. We're neighbors. Hope all is well. I see a lot of tear in him. Elder God says, seeing Zelensky on TV, I see a lot of fear in him. Yeah, I'd be scared shitless, man. Where the hell are you gonna run to? Antarctica? Like, I have no idea where Zelensky will be safe. Really. Or Boris Johnson. Brad says Zelensky is just a puppet and beggar. Yeah, Trump is getting that money back one way or another. Brad, Trump is saying he wants the money back. Basically, if you wanna look at it, Trump administration is saying, hey, we gave you guys $300 billion, $500 billion, whatever the hell it is. We're taking your country. Is that doable? Is that what's going to happen? Even if Zelensky signs it and says, yes, you can have all the resources, 100% of the resources, all our bridges, dams, mines, everything, right? Zelensky is not a legitimate leader of Ukraine. That's why Russia hasn't said we can't meet with Zelensky. Zelensky is a dictator. He canceled elections. Whatever Zelensky signs is null and void. So let's say Zelensky signs an agreement with Trump, with the Biden, with the Trump administration, saying, yeah, we'll give you everything. Just fucking save us, right? Don't burn us down, right? Ukraine is done. It's over, right? They'll have elections. Someone new will come in. And they'll look at this and say, no, this agreement is null and void because Zelensky was a dictator. He canceled elections. That's one of the reasons, by the way, the Trump administration is coming out and saying we need elections in Ukraine. Why are they saying that? Why are they trying to push for elections while the war is still going on? That's the reason they cancel elections. The war is going on. We can't have elections, right? Bullshit. You can always have elections during the wartime, right? But why is the United States administration, Trump administration, saying Ukraine has to have elections? Because when they have elections, when they appoint a new leader, they'll say, hey, he got elected, that's a legitimate leader, now sign on the dot. Then when the next administration comes in, they can't say, oh, this is null and void because they weren't elected, because they were elected, right? So there's this game in play. Everyone's trying to do things now to a certain degree legally. The United States is trying to put the dominoes in line so it all works out for them in the end for BlackRock, right? Is it going to work? I don't know. Personally, I think one of the best things that can happen to not Ukraine as a country, but Ukrainians, the people that are living in that region, is Ukraine just gets carved up and everybody takes their piece of pie and then they say peace. That's it. So Wall Street doesn't get all your resources, right? Ukraine becomes null and void, is over, right? Because there's no way it can recoup from this. The Ukrainians want to be ruled under Wall Street, because that's what's going to happen. Wall Street, BlackRock saying that's ours. Do you really want to live under Wall Street rules, BlackRock rules, or would you rather the boundaries just change, you retain your language, your family is safe, and all of a sudden everyone signs a peace agreement and peace, no one dies anymore? That would be the ideal. Right? Hey chycho, put it all on black. Just saying. Crummy VCR, how are we doing? I only ask because life is mainly about money and operating in that confine. One's ability is very limited to things in that regard. Maybe my view is skewed, but in my area it's extremely bleak. Yeah, Crummy VCR, I don't agree with your first sentence. I only ask because life is mainly about money and operating in that confine. I totally disagree with that statement. Life is not all about money. No, I disagree with that, right? Very much so. Lark Bark on Twitch. Zelensky is undoubtedly a con artist and has turned this situation into a massive Ponzi scheme. Massive. I don't know if I think he was played as well. I think he was promised everything because he was that dumb to believe it, right? Now he's finding himself, and he probably found himself in this situation like a year ago, going, wait a second, what do you mean we're not going to win the war? You guys, he's Zelensky. He knew nothing about war. He probably didn't know anything about geopolitics, military, nothing, right? All of a sudden, a year ago, they came up to him and say, we're losing. He's like, what? Let's go into Kursk. Let's attack them. It's like, dude, what are you, super low IQ? We knew low IQ, but you can't be this dumb, right? Send another few thousand Ukrainians to their massacre. Like, what the fuck? Jonah Chycho, land of the former so-called Ukraine is owned by Poland, which was annexed on September 17th, 1939 by Stalin, which means that this land will officially have to go to its true owner, Poland. Yeah, I agree. Poland, Romania has a stake in there as well. So does Hungary has a stake in there. I think personally, you know, Ukrainians, you guys can decide your own future, because I don't live there, right? I have Ukrainian friends, and they're Ukrainians, even though they live in Canada, they have Ukrainian tradition and all this jazz, right? Best thing to preserve life would be just call it quits and just get peace however way you can with the countries in that region. Do not allow Wall Street to occupy, to control your lands, because if that happens, it's going to be Congo. Do you really want to live in a state like the Congo? Don't do it, right? Don't do it. Mr. Chang, all sensitive, what are we doing? How come UK followed the neocons agenda, but US didn't by Trump administration? Because the neocons are idiots. Because the neocons are like bedbugs, they're leeches. Ugh. They're dumb. The neocon agenda is done. It's over, right? Neocons have been going scorched earth for the last 30-40 years around the world, and they got nothing to burn no more. The only thing they got left to burn is the United States, but the Trump admin stepped in and said, no, you can't burn the United States down, right? And that ended them. That's it. Peter Ancestor 2, what do you really need? Food, water, shelter, and I always argue love. I agree. Everything else is BS or scholarship, the study of the unnecessary. you need passion. One of the most important things you need in life is passion, right? A lot of people in the Western world, anyway, they don't have a passion for shit, for good things anyway, right? Lark Park, those who unconditionally support Ukraine may not have thoroughly examined the issue. No. Talked to a lot of them before. They were idiots. They were so low IQ, so stupid, so stupid. There are people I talk to, senior citizens even, like one of them academic, we're sitting, I'm like, they're so stupid, they're dumb, fucking dumbest mofos on the planet in regards to geopolitics. I couldn't believe what they were saying, right? Well, a couple of them had to turn around and say, look, everything is not Russia's fault. You can't blame everything on Russia, for fuck's sake. Putin bad, Russia bad. It's like, dude, like, what the fuck? It's raining, Russia did it. What? It's crazy, right? Capital concept. Zelensky offered to resign if Ukraine, yeah, I saw that, if Ukraine joined NATO, which we knew would start World War III. Sure, he will fly to Miami with his stolen billions and have dinner with Netanyahu's son and wife, right? Those fuckers, right? And he knew this is not going to be part of NATO, so he's not going to resign. It's just the lowest IQ stuff going around, right? All right, Chycho, if you had to take a wild guess, when does the Ukraine war end? It ends this year, right? It ends this year. And even if tomorrow, how will we know? They will keep wanting to delay fully announcing it, right? It's Elder God, Ukraine. The Ukraine war, when the United States pulls out, right? Hopefully the war ends. If it doesn't end, what's going to happen is they're going to throw a whole bunch of people, the Western world, EU, EU and Ukraine are going to line up tens of thousands of more of their people and just feed them through the meat grinder, right? Feed them through the meat grinder. At the same time, where people are watching this bloodshed, they're going to try to loot as much more of the wealth of their nations as they can, and they're going to fuck off to the United States or where the hell they're going to go, right? I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that doesn't happen. But Ukraine is done. I'm pretty sure this year. And if it's not, the longer it lasts, the more land Russia's going to take. It's just going to happen, right? Right now, the EU and Ukraine are desperately trying to make sure Odessa stays in the Ukraine sphere. I personally don't think Odessa is going to stay with Ukraine. I've been saying this from the beginning. I personally think Russia is going to take everything all the way to Odessa, right? And I think they should take everything all the way to Odessa. Okay. Just because that port there will be used for bad things if the EU keeps a stranglehold on it, right? But they're trying to keep Odessa. How much bloodshed is there going to be if they try to keep Odessa? Tao R. Chycho, always been curious. What are your religious spiritual belief? Any specific thinkers, philosophers, religious figures that you admire or agree with? Tao, for me, I'm more of the shamanistic realm. I come from the world of entheogens. I've explored the realms of philosophers, European philosophers specifically, some Middle Eastern writers, philosophers, poets. The Middle Eastern philosophers were really poets, right? So some of those poets and stuff like this, and definitely political writers and whatnot, right? I've explored the realm of religion. I've been to Zoroastrian temple. I've been to mosques. I've been to synagogues. I've been to churches. I consider myself born again Christian for a number of years, like about 3-4 years, late teens to early 20s, not even early 20s, but early 20s or so. I went through that realm and realized that was just a cult, a crazy cult, an insane cult, and a Zionist cult. I realized it was a Zionist cult back then, right? It was crazy. The ideology was ridiculous, right? And I followed different things, but basically a long time ago I explored the realm of entheogens, and as I grew older and still explored the realm of entheogens and read a lot, and read a lot of writings from psychonauts such as D.M. Turner, Terence McKenna, Watts, and Ram Dass, and what do you call it? Oh my God, Alan Watts and Ram Dass and all these people, right? I read a fair bit of that. Read some of the some books, teachings of Don Juan. Real or not doesn't make a difference, right? The philosophy is correct. Did a little, read a little bit of I Ching, did some look into martial arts and stuff, but I consider myself from the realm of entheogens, shamanistic realm, because that's the connection I built specifically through Salvia divinorum. Really opened up the door as a teaching plant, and it is the teaching plant. Salvia divinorum and fungi, right? And of course cannabis and stuff like this, but natural entheogens, not pharmaceuticals. Okay, not pharmaceuticals. That's my philosophy. And too long didn't listen, right? To make it short, I do not believe that this thing that I am animating right now is the end all be all of all that I am, right? It is, I am who I am, what I am is animating this body and vocalizing my thoughts, right? This is not the end of me. Dancing vigil, blame Putin for crappy Disney movies. Yeah, hilarious. Russia hit my second sock. Oh my god, Russia hit my second sock. Brad Koski Chicho, we need more Blue Oyster Cult and Godzilla. Hell yes, hell yes. Go 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 Godzilla. Gang, look up that song. So effing good, so effing good. Brad, like your taste in music. Panic. Mark Rutte needs to go real fast all as well. That guy's entire job right now is meeting with EU leaders and pushing them to war. Can't stand his face and voice. Yeah, none of them, especially Baerbock, the Green Party in Germany. Oh my god. Dancing vigil. I want to back I time and meet born again Christian Chicho and call a stupid mofo cultist. And I was. But I went to some Christian concerts that were really good, man. I went and saw Amy Grant. That was really good. I saw Petra like 3 times. Res Band. I wish I saw Keith Green. Keith Green, I loved his music. So good, so good. Right. Prowler Ranger. Jonathan Pye in UK claims NATO intervention in Ukraine ended in 2004, and the Russians waited 10 years to attempt to take the land back. Jonathan Pye is an idiot. Endorphin 2711. Good evening from Germany, everyone. Salutations. How's your elections going today? Had a election today. Results not that surprising. I heard it's going according to the polls. So Baerbock's still going to be in. Oh fuck, Germany's screwed. Dancing Vigil. Amy Grant was hot. Amy Grant was super hot, super hot. I'll tell you one thing about Amy Grant. One thing about Amy Grant and her singing career, right? From what I heard way back then, right? Amy Grant was very shy, right? And she was really young when they put out her first album and stuff like this. And I believe she married her producer or musician. Husband was musician, something like this anyway. But her producer, something like this. I can't remember that part of it. But I remember this about her, that Amy Grant was so shy about singing that when they were recording the music, they would have to turn the lights off, so she would be singing in the dark, right? Because she was too shy to sing in front of people, even people in the studio. So that was endearing. And I love Amy Grant, right? One of the songs is El Shaddai. El Shaddai, El Shaddai, Adayona Adolai, age to age, it's still the same by the power of the name El Shaddai, El Shaddai, Edayona Adonai. I have no idea if I'm saying the words correctly or not, but that's one song I would sing out all the way. It was super. It was endearing time. But it was a low IQ red rat, right? Baerbock about to send 700 billion to Ukraine. Crazy. Brad, speaking of hot, so was Ann Wilson. Pretenders, before she blew up. Yeah, I think Ann Wilson's Pretenders, isn't it? Capital Concepts, looking forward to the work hard and pay taxes for Ukraine. Yeah, crazy, right? Sleepway Chicho, what do you think about the slight correction of markets this past Friday? People worrying about short-term inflation due to the rise of tariffs. Yeah, I don't think that was even a correction. That was just it. You'll know when the correction happens. That wasn't a correction. That was just a little bump, right? See what I've also been watching and waiting for even more correction. Yeah. Endorphin Baerbock. Oh no, yeah, she is disgusting, man. What a disgusting piece of crap. Linda Ronstadt was beautiful. Yeah, red hair. Linda Ronstadt, big red hair, right? And that. Oh, Hart. Oh, yeah. That's right. Ann Wilson. That's right. From Seattle. Hart was from Seattle. Their base. And was Anne the blonde one or the brunette? Brunette before she went poof. What the hell was that? Barracuda. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great song. Great song. Which ones? What's the name of the Pretenders? Annie Lennox. Annie Lennox is Pretenders. That's right. And Wilson Hart. Yeah, 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 yeah. Super hot. The sisters, right? Endorphin. Yeah, it all went like the post said. CDU CSU1, AFD second, Musk favorite, SPD third, Gron Baerbock is fourth. I hope they don't put her in any position, right? Barracuda. How did it go? Oh, I forget how it went. I used to listen to Barracuda a lot. Queen of Hearts. There's a remake they made. Lennox is Eurythmics. Lennox is Eurythmics. Yeah, Lennox was like a giant, but she had character, short hair, super cool, super cool. Music dog, I like it. I like it. What else is going on? Man, there's so much going on. It's hard to just deal with one issue or even remember what the f is going on. Endorphin, how are you doing today? I've been busy. I'm doing good. I got a lot of shit done this morning. Need to do a lot more for spring. Got to go through a full-on spring cleaning. Got to do it for 2 houses now. It's crazy. Yeah, just very, 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 very busy. Right, Brad going, just looking at your backdrop is relaxing. Love it. Oh, awesome, Brad. I love it too. This is one of the areas, my work area, right? So good. Peter, no, Annie Lennox was Eurythmics. Oh yeah, Pretenders was Christy Apple. That's right. I mixed up the name Eurythmics and Pretenders. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Eurythmics I really like. Pretenders I really like too. Christy Amplit, Annie Lennox, Eurythmics. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Christy Hyde. I don't know who Christy Hyde was. Christy Hyde is Pretenders. Hyde, Amplit, Christy Hyde. Okay, Christy Hyde was Pretenders. I like Pretenders. Pretenders, Eurythmics. I like that era, the genre of the strong female singers from the 80s, and 90s. Like there were women, there weren't like tweens singing about life lessons. Like I find that whole thing about girl, it's like boy bands. I never got into boy bands, like f boy bands, right? Never got into girl, like teenage girls singing about heavy topics and shit like that. I like when women strong. Jonah Jett, hell yeah. Jonah Jett, that's right. Joni Mitchell I didn't like too much. Yeah, Taylor, oh god, Taylor Swift, much more better than yeah. I don't even understand. You know what, I haven't listened to her. I just can't. I can't even be bothered. Patti Smith is good too. Patti Smith, country. Joan Jett, man. Who else was there? Blondie, of course, right? Chycho, can you elaborate on why the market would crash if we go into World War III and why it would go up if we don't? Thanks. Depending which market, some markets might go up, but basically World War III means cutting of the supply chain, right? Cutting of the supply chain. You cut the supply chain, you're screwed. Pat Benatar, hell yeah. Blondie is excellent. If you've never watched a movie called Videodrome, watch Videodrome. That's sexy Blondie in the movie. Super cool, and it's a super cool movie actually. Stevie Nicks, I like Stevie Nicks too. Sherry Bomb, Brad. Sherry Bomb, I don't know who Sherry Bomb is. Who else was there? Bonnie Tyler, Donna Summer, Bonnie Tyler, from the disco era. Super good, super good. Oh my god. Through your love and through the ram, You saved the son of Abraham through the power of your hand, turned the sea into dry land. To the outcast of her knees, you were the God who really sees, and by your light you set your children free. Nice song, chycho. Nice song. Nice song. That's nice song. Amy Grant. It's a great song. It's a great song. I really liked it. Debbie Harry in the band. I forgot the name. Susie Quattro. I don't know Susie Quattro. The Runaways. Oh, Jet Runaways. Yes. Oh, I don't know. Susan Hoffas. Oh my god. Oh, I don't know who Susan Hoffas is. I'm gonna check out these ladies, man. Well, another one which is phenomenal, and I wish I listened to their music more, is the band. What's the band called? Who does the theme song for Cowboy Bebop? It's a Japanese band, and the girl there is amazing. The song is called Tank. Cowboy Bebop Tank opening track. I forget what the band is called. The band is called shoot, I forget what it's called. Panic. Cherry Bomb had a band with Jonah Jett called the Runaways. Ah, okay, I didn't know that. I didn't follow it then. Jonah Jett I knew, but Jonah Jett I knew wasn't with Runaways. Walk Like Egyptian. Oh, that's what they did. The Runaways did Walk Like an Egyptian. Doot, doot, doot. Susie's awesome. I gotta do. Man, now I want to listen to women bands. Oops. Oops, cough. Fun music. The Bangles. The Bangles. B-52s I never got into. B-52s I couldn't get into. But the Bangles, yeah. Walk Like an Egyptian. I think it was Bangles that did Walk Like an Egyptian. No, not Runaways. Not the Bangles. The Bangles, yeah. Susan Hoff did the Egyptians. Man, I gotta know me and my names. Who else was there? I love like Nina Simone. You want a powerful woman, man? Nina Simone, all female, all strong. One of the most powerful singers there is. Nina Simone. Nina Simone. I looped that lady forever. Right? Lena Ford and Jet was with Runaways. Okay, okay. Susie and Banshee. Susie and Banshee. Seatbelt, maybe. Oh, Seatbelt. Yeah, I think it was Seatbelts. I think it's the Seatbelts. Yeah, the Bangles did Walk Like an Egyptian. Yeah. Who else was there? The disco era ladies were phenomenal. Were absolutely awesome. What do you call it? Janis Joplin. What a crazy bitch she was. Awesome though. Awesome. Janis Joplin. Crazy. Janis Joplin was the Jimi Hendrix of the era, right? If Jimi Hendrix was a woman, she would be Janis Joplin. And if Janis Joplin was a man, she would have been Jimi Hendrix. Right? So amazing music wise. By the way, gang, remember the name Burial? Right? That DJ from the UK, someone linked it up on our Matrix server, right, in the music section, and he linked up one of the albums of Burial, and he put out only 2 studio albums. If you like electronic music, check out Burial, UK DJ. Absolutely effing phenomenal. I used to listen to that a lot back in the day. Dancing Vigil. Sing Strange Fruit again. Wow, amazing. All of Nina Simone's songs except I Love You Porgy are phenomenal, and she put I Love You Porgy on more albums than any other song, which is the weirdest shit ever. Grace Slick, haha. Gracie, I believe they did Bebop song. Yeah, Seatbelt. I think it is Seatbelt. Tank. Just beautiful. fucking hardcore jazz, rocking jazz. I don't know what you call it. Grace Slick had a great voice too. Great voice, great voice. Tool coming to Birmingham is awesome, awesome, awesome. Music talk, I like it better than politics and geopolitics. We'll see what happens. I'm keeping my eyes on the markets, by the way, gang. So tracking it pretty closely. Get some cash handy. Okay, Lark Bark. Chet Baker was a genius. Chet Baker, I don't know. Baker, is that Tool? Tool, so fucking good, so good, so good. I saw them live once. Yes. My wife, Brad, my wife can't sing for crap. Can't win them all. Can't win them all. Dump her. No, don't dump her. For your info, if anyone else wants it, make sure you pay attention to the pressing. You have to buy the 2016 press, not the original 2008. Which one is this? Burial. Oh, really? For Burial, buy the 2016 press. Favorite jazz musician, Chet Baker. Okay. Panic says Burial needs more attention. I'm looking to buy the album on vinyl now. Okay, but don't buy the 2008 pressing, buy a 2016. Man, I don't know my LPs at all. Certain albums, a certain pressing sells for way more than another one, right? Deep Flake, you're always late. Why you always late? I'm always on time, almost always on time. Lark Bark, music is far better than politics, although music has gotten political, unfortunately. Yeah, but music has always been political. Listen to Nina Simone. Nina Simone is one of the most hardcore political musicians in US history. Hardcore politics. Like, that's one of the reasons I love her music. But it's not like I am blue, I am red, I am. Her politics is deep. Like it's universal. Her politics is beautiful, even though she was a little crazy, right? Panic, yeah, the 2008 pressing is pretty bad quality, and also it doesn't contain some songs on it, really, like Raver, for example. Really, the pressing contains all of it. Cool 2016 pressing. And I read that our interview on the Matrix server. I think Panic, you linked it up. A fantastic interview with Burial, right? Gave an insight into his music. The guy had never been to a rave. What the F, right? Or outdoor festival. What the F? Miles Davis, hell yeah. Bitches Brew. It should be Witches Brew, isn't it? Mind expanding music. Matt Baker, isn't Miles Davis Witches Brew, or is it Bitches Brew? I thought it was Witches Brew. A jazz musician who was tremendously brilliant. Oh God, our box cost £10,000 in total. Keep it secret, keep it safe. Crap. Lark Bark, music has gotten political since the beginning. Yeah, I agree with Lark Bark. Music has always been political. Look at the blues musicians, right? Look at all the blues musicians, some of the amazing blues musicians. Big Mama Thornton, what do you call it? Hooker, John Lee Hooker, right? Oh my God, I saw him live. Chubby guitarist, black, fat guitarist, BB King. I saw BB King live, so good. John Coltrane, so good, right? At least two legends I've seen live. BB King and Tom Jones. I took my mom to go see Tom Jones. Tom Jones was awesome. Matt Baker, Bitches Brew. He was referring to his band as Bitches. Oh, I didn't know that. I had no idea. I always called it Witches Brew for some reason. I saw Tool in Vancouver in, I forget, mid 2000s probably, right? Thing is, many liberals turn socialists. Ugh. I saw BB in 2007. I saw BB King in 1998 or 1999. It was really good. Deflex Burial and Code 9 mix for Mary Ann Hobbs 2018 is great too. Nice, nice, nice. Albert King, Sleepyway Chycho. Like Nina Simone said, the role of artists is to reflect what's happening in their time. I believe so too. Yeah, for the most part. You could have different types of art as well, right? But for her, that's what it was. Steven Seagal, haha. And he's running. What the hell is that? Steven Seagal running is going to be the craziest tranny running ever. Real MC Mike, I'm gonna allow that since Twitch locked it up. Q Kenny Garrett, another underrated artist, kind of recent but made a lot of work inspired by John Coltrane. Really has a brilliant album called Songbook. I don't know. Real MC Mike, I want to make a band with the nickname for me and the Rig Hands. What is it? Dirty Mike and the Change Sock Horse. Hilarious. Lord Marchicho, Steven Seagal does music. That's why I brought him up. Steven Seagal does music? I didn't know that. What the F? Painter's name. First time in your channel. Salute, salute. Welcome to our live stream. Are you leftist? I got a left hand. No, I'm not left or right or center. My spectrum is a little bit larger than that. I rip a new a-hole on for leftists and rightists and left centrists and whatnot. It really depends on the topic. Red Rider, BPS. Oh, cool. BB King would have been still standing on stage. Oh yeah. He did grab a stool and play it on the stool as well. But yeah, he did good. He did encores, right? He did encores. Panic. Where are we? Panic. The person that did that interview was with Burial was a contemporary political and cultural theorist, music critique, and also musician from the 1990s. He was one of the pioneers of jungle music. Oh, really? I didn't know that. His insights into music culture deeply influenced my understanding. Really, I had no idea. Panic. Very cool. It was a great interview. Dancing Vigil. If you want to insult someone, tell them they run like Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal beats up his band if they play a chord rock. Hilarious. Controllers and Chycho. Have you seen the trailer for Cheech and Chong last film? What? Recent? Comes out soon. What? No way. Pirate Bay, here I come. By the way, Chong used to live in the same area that I did in Vancouver. Very close to me, actually. He's political, hardcore. All right. Painter's name. What topic are you discussing? We're just talking about music right now. We went from war, geopolitics, Ukraine, Middle East, and all that jazz to music. Right. Panic. Mark Fisher, for anyone interested, he unfortunately hanged himself in 2014, I think. Damn, he had a bleak outlook on life, to say the least. Crap, that sucks. I never understood, but I'm not in their shoes, right? I don't think I'd ever be into taking my own life. Deep Flake. Do you mean that Mark Fisher Burial interview? Yeah, Deep Flake. That interview was fantastic. It's linked up in our Matrix server, Matrix space, in the music folder. Panic, I believe, linked it up. Or is it you, Deep Flake, that linked it up? I think Panic linked it up. Great interview. Controllers Zen. They now live next door to one another. Cheech keeps complaining that John keeps coming over unannounced. Is that what the movie's about? Hilarious. Painter's name. Did you talk about Ukraine? Yeah, we talked about Ukraine. We've been talking about Ukraine for a while. I've been talking about Ukraine since 2014. I wrote an article on Ukraine. If you go to my website, in the left column you'll find politics, and you'll find the Ukraine link there, and I think I put together 3 or 4 articles on Ukraine, and one of those were in 2013 2014 when the coup was happening, and I wrote an article in 2014 saying like, this is a coup. It's neocons. Is gonna blow us sky high, right? Control said no, that's in real life. They live next door to each other. They live in West Vancouver. No, are they living in? No, I think Chong went back to LA, right? But Chong was living, I think it was Chong. I always mix them up. Yeah, Chong. I think he went back to, he was living in West Vancouver for a while, right? David Banner, Steven Seagal would beat up his, yeah, okay. Beat up his music fans if they didn't agree with his musical vibe. David Banner, Steven Seagal would beat up his music fans if they don't agree with his musical vibe. Hilarious, hilarious. Oh, nice, Elder God. Thank you for linking that up. I totally forgot about. You know what? I should link up my own article in that thing. But basically, who was it? Painter's name. If you want to know about Ukraine, and if you don't know anything about Ukraine, Elder God linked it up as a command in Twitch that we have that links you up to 2 podcasts. I think they're still up. That RFK had with 2 people regarding Ukraine. One of them is Benjamin Abloh, which talks about the 2014 coup, and the other one is with Colonel Douglas McGregor, which is talking about what happened in the last little while, mainly focused on that anyway. Deep Flake, Mark Fisher's book, long essay, Weird and Eerie, is underrated, worth a read too, really. Controllers, and they're both in LA. Okay, they're neighbors in real life. Crap. Good thing they can grow weed and enjoy themselves at Deep Flake. Have you given a take on the German elections? Maybe I missed it. Well, no, we didn't know the results. As far as I'm concerned, the Greens and the other ones, other than AfD, you would have to be a moron to vote for anyone else in Germany, in any of the ruling party for the last 4 years, 5 years in Germany. You would have to be like masochist, sadistic masochist, right? They destroyed Germany, and people still vote for them. So if I was in Germany, I would have voted either AfD or one of the alternative parties, independent parties. I would never vote for the Greens or the other ones. They destroyed your nation, right? But it is what it is, right? Germany puts out a lot of shit porn, like literally poop porn. Maybe they're into being pooped on. I don't know. And why do I know that? I have no idea. All I know is Germany and Japan put out a lot of poop porn, and they didn't start putting out a lot of poop porn after World War II. Maybe because they were being shat on. I don't know. Painter's name. The topic of Ukraine interests me because I am Russian. I will read about it on your website. Yeah, Painter's name. Here, I'll link up my article. Since you're Russian, you'll have a appreciation of what I wrote, because it's connected to Armenia as well. Here, I'll link it up for you. Okay. Doink. Doink. Let's see if this is the one. Yeah, it's got a few updates, and I put out a video on it. But so the top part is update 7, and you scroll down, update 1, and then with the double dotted lines, that's the article that I wrote in 2014, and it sort of links up with here you go, and I'll link it up in CensorTube chat as well. I'll vote for it, to be honest. Aldegos says AfD I would vote for, to be honest. Yeah, right. If you read that, basically what's been going on, and one other article that you might find interesting. Oh, I don't have it on here. On my previous website, I wrote an article regarding the war in Georgia. And at that time when it was happening, I called the Georgia-Russian war the beginning of World War III, because NATO's actions in Georgia in 2008, around that period, that led to the war between Georgia and Russia, awakened the Russian bear, right? And man, I want to find you that article. If you're Russian, you'll appreciate it. How is the best way to find it? Let me see if I can find it this way. I have to go to the previous site. It's on archive, it's not up anymore. Oh, archive is down? You kidding me? Archive.org is down? I hope we didn't lose. Okay, I'm gonna end it. Okay, I won't link it up. Hopefully it's not going to mess up the connection. But anyway, I called the beginning of the Russia-Georgia war the beginning of World War III, because it awakened the Russian bear. Dr. David Banner. Steven Seagal was in a movie called Blunder Siege, which refused to act but would agree to rough up the extras who were his fans. Doge took over archive. You're kidding me, controllers. And I hope not. I hope not. Aldegar, what are you linking up? This song is amazing. Who is it? Panic. I'm interested in 2018 Georgia war. I haven't looked into it. Yeah. Basically, it was NATO's blunder attempt to move one step closer to Russia, and they didn't think Russia would react as harshly as it did. But basically, everything was in place for Russia to come out of hibernation and go, we're done with you clowns in the Western world. One swipe, Georgia was taken care of, and while the Western world was yelling and screaming about that, Russia was preparing in the background, because that was the beginning stages. Putin was getting ready. Putin, when he got into power in 1999-2000, was trying to lean to the West, right? Trying to just not have that animosity, join the Western sphere economically, everything, because they are part of Europe, right? But when the Georgia war happened, the instigation, it wasn't unprovoked, right? The Georgian military killed a few Russians. Russia realized that there's no way that they will be allowed to tilt towards the Western sphere, right? Because all the West wants to do is balkanize them, right? So they took care of Georgia. Speedy Gonzalez drew the line and said, don't fuck with us. And in the background, they were getting ready. It took some serious prepping for them to be able to do what they've done the last 3 years, right? After Munich speech, that was I don't know if that was after the Munich speech or before the Munich speech. Panic. My timing on that, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure. Okay. But yeah, the Munich speech happened around the same time, right? And there was one other interview that was extremely important, but I can't find it. I've tried looking for it again and again and again. I can't find it. And it was an interview that Putin gave to Western reporters, and this was pre 2014 coup, Ukraine coup, right? And Russia, because the Western reporters were asking them just propaganda questions, just stupid questions, right? And Putin had enough. So Putin turned around to the reporters and said, why? He asked them a question. He goes, why are you propagating these lies against Russia? Why are you not doing any proper speeches, proper reports on what is happening in Russia, with NATO and stuff like this. Don't you people, paraphrasing Putin, talking to reporters, he's turning to them and goes, don't you people understand that we are a nuclear armed power? We have the largest nuclear arsenal in the world, and you're still helping Western governments to wage war on Russia. Do you not understand that if Western nations, if NATO starts a war with Russia, it will go nuclear, and all those Western politicians and bureaucrats that you are protecting, they will not allow you to go inside their bunkers. So if a nuclear war happens, you will die and your family will die. Do you understand this? Right? This was Putin saying this during a press conference to Western reporters, and I wish I saved that video. I wish I saved that video, because that's exactly what it was. Okay, that's exactly what it was. A whole bunch of dumbass bought and paid for Western propagandists, and with the USAID revelations that has happened in the last few weeks, we know that a lot of those reporters, propagandists, were paid by neocons, USAID, right, to propagate bullshit, Western bullshit, so they could balkanize Russia, right? And Putin straight out said, you guys are morons, because you don't understand. You're pushing for nuclear war, and you and your family and your loved ones will also die in that nuclear war. And do you think your paycheck, and he talked about their paycheck, do you think the money you're getting paid right now is worth it? Right? If anybody ever finds that interview at that press conference, man, I will be so grateful if you can find it. Please come to Matrix and link it up for us, because that's one video. There's a few videos throughout the years that I wish I saved. That is number one on my list. I wish I saved that video. I wish I saved that video. As far as the article that I wish I saved that I can't find anymore, is the articles that I've referenced that I read like 25 years ago that said the true promised land, the Zionist, is not really Israel. They're using that to start World War III. It's actually the Americas. Okay. Panic. Do I remember the year roughly? I think the year was early 2010s. I believe that's when it was. Okay. I can't find it. I can't find it. It might have been before that. It might have been. I don't think it was after maybe it was after the Ukraine coup. Maybe so, mid 2010s. It's around that period. Sorry, I wish I knew. Alder God is asking what year. If you guys can find it, man, I've tried multiple times to find it, and I just can't. It doesn't come up. Panic. The Munich speech was 2007. Okay. Endorphin. My English is not so good, but I try anyways. What do you think about the fact that Putin and Trump talk about war ending criteria while Ukraine and NATO aren't involved? That's something we have highly in the mainstream media in Germany. Do you think NATO need to be involved in these deals to end the war? No. Endorphin. So Endorphin is asking what I think about, and your English is very good, by the way, from Germany. But Endorphin is asking, what do I think about Putin and Trump having talks to end the Ukraine war while Ukraine and EU, NATO are not involved? Well, a couple of things. First of all, officially NATO is not involved, even though we know it's involved, right? So NATO can't officially be in the discussion to end the war in Ukraine, because officially NATO has said they've never been involved. So if all of a sudden there's a discussion with NATO, then everything they've said in the past, which we already know is a lie, they have been involved, then it would prove that they were lying, that they were involved in the war if they're participating in peace talks with Russia. So NATO can't be involved, right? EU not involved, Ukraine not involved, because the talk between Trump and Putin is not about ending the war. It's about ending US's support for Ukraine, right? Trump has come out and said, you guys want to continue the war, You guys can continue the war. We don't give a shit. But United States, we're out. And we've given you guys 300 billion, 500 billion, who knows, whatever they've given, right? For the money we've given you, we want all of Ukraine's resources, 100%, right? You can do whatever the hell you want. So Putin and Trump aren't negotiating a peace deal for the Ukraine war. Putin and Trump are negotiating a deal for United States not to be involved in the Ukraine war. And the discussions that they're having is not just Ukraine. They're also talking about trade agreements, BRICS, Middle East, oil, everything. So the discussions that they're having, it's not a Ukraine peace talk. It's Trump and Putin, United States and Russia talking, and they have a lot of things to talk about. And US's involvement in Ukraine is one of them. That's it, right? EU and Ukraine can continue the war if they want. They can't. It would be just total insanity if they do. But Trump is saying, go, you want, you do it. I don't give a shit. Your people, we're out, right? When the dust settles, we'll come to collect our resources. Because we own you, bitch. Right? That's what he's saying. What a shitty leadership EU has, and what a bunch of traitors the Ukrainians leadership has been, right? Chameleon eyes. Ukraine can't win without continued American support. Ukraine can't win, period. Ukraine could never win. Ukraine lost the moment it started. We said this. I couldn't believe it. I was so angry that the Western world, NATO, EU leadership in the United States pushed the war in Ukraine, because we knew it was a lost cause. It was just about death and destruction. And I knew right off the bat that Russia was going to win, right? That was confirmed when the economic war on Russia was not successful, because they weren't going to win the war against Russia militarily, right? They started that war so it could justify sanctioning Russia off the yin yang, and they thought the global majority would go in with them. China didn't, global majority didn't, so they lost the economic war on Russia. That was the only way they were going to win. As soon as that happened, in Turkey, the Istanbul Accord, Ukraine should have signed the agreement. They should have signed the agreement, because the economic warfare was not going to destroy Russia, because they wanted to plunder Russia. That's what the EU leadership had in mind. We're going to go into Russia and get all their resources, and the EU will be great again. What a bunch of low IQ little rats. MGGA. That's what should happen in EU. Fucking crazy. They massacred 1 million+ people for their greedy little fucking pocketbooks. Disgusting. How in the world are they walking around for free? Like being free and giving press conference. I can't believe it. Like, it's like a bunch of people come into your home, massacre half your family, and then they laugh in your face and piss on you. That's what the EU leadership is. Unfucking believable, right? That's got to go. Salute, Dancing Vigil. Enjoy the rest of your night. Victor, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Salute. Cheers. Chycho, respectfully, how does Armenia view Palestine, given their genocide history, but also their anti-Islamic bent due to Turks? Armenians are not anti-Islamic. I can tell you that much, right? Armenians are against the Ottoman Empire, the Ottoman Turks, and stuff like this. Armenians are extremely sympathetic to the Palestinians. All Armenians are, right? One of the reasons all Armenians are extremely sympathetic to the Palestinians, because Armenians know Zionist history, majority of them, and they know Zionists had a huge role to play in the Ottoman Empire, in the Young Turks and the Ottoman Empire, to help commit genocide on the Armenians during World War One. And if they don't know that, all Armenians know that Zionist Israel had a huge role to play in arming Azerbaijan and Turkey and committing the genocide, ethnic cleansing in Nagorno-Karabakh in the last 5 years. So all Armenians are extremely sympathetic to the Palestinian cause. 99% of Armenians are sympathetic to the Palestinian cause. 100%, right? Maybe that's why Zionist Israel is still trying to genocide Armenians, why Zionist Israel does not recognize the Armenian genocide. That's what it is, Victor. And that's me talking as an Armenian. Okay. Yeah. Ukraine can't win without continuing. Yeah. Deflakes, do you watch anime? Totally unrelated. Yo, yeah, Deflakes, I watch a lot of anime, tons of anime. Endorphin, see, I am not that involved with politics besides your stream, so I really appreciate your explaining, chycho. My pleasure, Endorphin. My pleasure. Chameleon Eyes, yeah, you're right, but it's no longer a war. War of attrition, I mean. Yeah, it's a slaughter now. It's crazy. Makan, hello from Sweden. Salutations, Sweden. Yes, Armenians and Palestinians live in peace together in Lebanon. Saw it myself when I was on vacation there, 2012. Yeah. Armenians and Palestinians, man, we consider ourselves in large part to be like brothers. It's like Armenians and Greeks, right? And yeah, there's a lot of Armenians in Lebanon and in Beirut, and lots of Palestinians there too, right? Painter's name, are you religious? I believe in, I follow the shamanistic philosophy. Lark Bark, I'm also disgusted with Hollywood for showing huge support for Ukraine without doing their research on. Yeah, they always, by the way, USAID and other revelations showed that a lot of those actors were being paid to Ukraine and do photo ops with Zelensky. That's how badly the Western world was being played. It's disgusting. Eclipse, hello, chycho, salutations, Eclipse. I love your comic books. Eclipse Comics was an independent comic book publisher in 1980s and 90s, right? Hello from the USA. Salutations, Eclipse. Hope you're doing well. David Banner, I hear the new $6 million man is Steven Seagal. He will be sent in to stop the war between Ukraine and Russia. Can you imagine seeing him running across the Atlantic with his arms wavering? Hilarious. Seriously, what the hell? Someone what? Ding 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 ding. It's like a T-Rex. I'm Steven Seagal running. I hope he doesn't come to my house to beat me up. SDF Noro. Now imagine how we're feeling here in Romania, Dorfin, and we're buying our first house in 2 days from the, we can't even afford to run if that will be the case. Painter's name, I live in Germany now and I'm very right-wing, so it's a little strange listening to you. Good. Did you vote AFD? I would have voted for them if I couldn't find another party to vote for that wasn't any of the establishment, right? Elder God would have voted with you, right? And Fida, salutations, hope you're doing well. Did the USA leaving Europe subject come up? I'm just tuning in. Yeah, USA, if they're smart, the Trump administration, they'll be closing a lot of military bases in Europe and getting the F out. Europe is the Titanic. Get out as fast as you can. Europe is not the people, man, I love you guys, but European leadership, politics, economics, it's crash. It's a disaster. Everyone's loving it. Steven will be in the bushes tonight, chycho. I'm gonna look out, he's gonna be like I'm gonna come and get you, Chicho. God damn. Brad Chicho. Who would win the fight? Chuck Norris or Steven Seagal? I would say Steven Seagal, tell you the truth. I would say Steven Seagal. Right? Chuck Norris, if you're on BitChute, you've been seeing a lot of Chuck Norris, Chuck Norris, Chuck Norris, the advertisement they're doing. But if Steven Seagal isn't able to grapple him and break Chuck Norris's hand, throw him or do whatever he's doing within 30 seconds, then he's too chubby to last any longer, right? I don't think his cardio is that good. Eldegoss, Steven Seagal trained with Bruce Lee. Did he? I didn't know that. Lark Park, you say Chuck Norris, really? Eldegoss in his mind about Chuck Norris. Lark Park, Seagal has to sit down while doing a fight scene. There was actually one of his movies he did sit down. He was beating everyone up while he was sitting down. He's hilarious, man. Gotta love the guy. I feel like hugging him as long as he doesn't kill me. Come here, chubby tubby. Don't kill me. Dr. David Manner. Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups. He pushes the world down. Ha ha ha. He's too small. He's not a big guy from what I understand. It's funny. Elder guy, you say Steven Seagal, yeah? I say Steven Seagal. Elder guy, yeah, Jackie Chan is an awesome fighter. Yeah, 100%. Jackie Chan, serious, huge. And all around nice guy from what I understand. He's got a crazy following. One thing I heard about Jackie Chan is years ago, there was a revelation in his personal life that he was about to get married, and a whole bunch of women killed themselves because of it. It's like, or one person killed themselves because they were in love with Jackie Chan. It's like, oh God, the weight on you, crazy. All right, have you seen the Matt TV parodies of Steven Seagal? That from a long time ago, right? Matt TV, the first 2 years of Matt TV were really good, and then it got fucking weird. Elfida, but Chuck is karate and Seagal bullshit aikido. Roy's still the best. Bruce Leroy still on. That rings a bell. I can't remember Bruce Leroy. Oh my God, Meals on Wheels is the best fight put to film. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming that Steven Seagal sitting down and beating people up. Craziness. Funny. One of the best karate movies you'll ever see is called My Name is Bruce. It's a comedy about this Chinese guy who's delivering flour somewhere and people think it's cocaine, and he doesn't know how to fight, and it's so funny. They call me Bruce. So funny. Tony Jaa from Ong Bak is awesome. Oh yeah, that movie was so good. Vietnamese, right? Vietnamese are tough, man. Fuck, Vietnamese and Cambodians, fucking fighting machines, right? Panic. I can't find it. Would need more info about it to search keywords. Is that the Putin thing? The Last Dragon, super good. Deflates. What are some good animes you've watched recently? Solo Leveling was pretty good. I like Solo Leveling, right? I'm waiting for what do you call it, My Hero Academia, to be released in dub on stream. Oh no, I know where there's a streaming there's dub, but the downloadable version. What else? I just saw recently just the first 3 parts. It's not anime, it's animation. Scavenger's Reign is an amazing animation if you haven't seen it. It's not anime, it's animation. Scavenger's Reign, phenomenal series. But I looked up who the creators of Scavenger's Reign were, and they just released a 4-part animation, and it's really good. And it's about a mushroom, not about a mushroom, but about the healing properties of mushroom and the conspiracy theory and pharmaceutical companies, government, and this guy who's found this mushroom that heals you. Super cool, and the animation is beautiful, beautiful. Alfida, did you ever watch old kung fu movies? Chycho, hell yeah. Those were bloody gore and salad. Yeah, 100%. Shaw Brothers all the way. One of the best Shaw Brothers movies, in as far as I'm concerned, it's the top. My favorite Shaw Brothers movie is Come Drink with Me. Yeah, I think it's Come Drink with Me. It's amazing, amazing. Shaw Brothers is amazing, and I saw a lot of Shaw Brothers during film festivals like 25 years ago in the theater, and I own some of them on DVD. Shaw Brothers, so good, so good. Endorphin. I watched Zin Neza just yesterday. Was a good movie in my opinion. Not anime. I don't know it. I don't know that one. 1966. Wow. Yeah, Panic. I don't know any other, like, I wish I knew more. I couldn't find it. But it was a press conference. Okay, and he was sitting down on a table, and the reporters were there, and a couple of other Russians with him as well. No retreat, no surrender, kickboxers. Yeah, Brad. They call me Bruce. You're number one, while giving the finger. I want to go. They watch me, Bruce. Like, I don't want to watch it again. Banner. I love NRNS. No retreat, no surrender. They are doing a documentary on it at the moment. Wow. Panic. If you can, you can leave more detail in the Matrix server about what you can remember about the interview. Okay. Press. Yeah, it was a press conference. He was answering questions, right? He was sitting down on a table, and the reporters were there, and there was other Russian delegates. I think Russian delegates behind them. It sums up the Russian mentality and the danger that the Western world has put us in, right? Because Russia knew what was coming and they prepared accordingly, right? Elder God Brat quote: "There's one place you have not looked, and only there will you find the master." End quote. David Banner. I will keep an eye out for the documentary. Thanks. Nice. Gang, should we call the stream? Let's call the stream. Blue background. Elder God, is that for the Trump, the Putin? I can't remember. Was it between 2009 and 2011? I don't think it was as early as 2009. It might have been after the Georgia war, but I think it was pre-Ukraine war, or maybe right after Ukraine war. Or Ukraine coup, so not war, Ukraine coup, 2014. So it was 2010, let's say 2009, if we want to go back that far, all the way up to 2015 or something. I wish I knew. Good night, Dr. David Banner. Yes, I found something. You found something. Oh God, Matrix. Brad, it was fun, Chycho. Laugh my ass off. Thanks. My pleasure. And thank you very much for popping in, gang. I'm gonna do a little outro, just because, why not? If you want to know what this work is about, we're on Patreon, Substack, subscribe, so you can follow the work there. We do have a Matrix space. If you find that Putin press conference, please link it up for us there. We're live streaming on Twitch, on SensorTube, on BitChute, and sometimes on Rumble. We're recording this on a lapel mic, so the audio will be up on soundcloud.com/chycho as a podcast, as well as Patreon and Substack. We're on Twitter, we're on Minds, we're on VK, we're on Substack Notes, we're on True Social, we're on Blue Sky, we're on Gab, and we're on Getter. Oh, Elder God, is it in Russian? It might be in Russian. I can't remember if it was Russian or English. So Endorphin, it might be in Russian. I think it was in Russian. I don't think Putin does English interviews. press conferences. Endorphin salutation from Germany, everyone. Have a good day. Have a good day, everyone. Have a good week, everyone. And thank you for popping in, and salute to the